I felt that they were always playing within themselves, Manchester City. I always felt that they could step it up whenever they wanted and run down the other pitch and score. If anything, Villarreal made chances on the back of Manchester City, just giving the ball away, being a little tiny bit complacent. But I thought it was a real confident, professional performance, real run-of-the-mill performance, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just thought they were so superior to Villarreal. Effectively, Villarreal blew it in the first 45 minutes. They weren't up and at it at Manchester City. When the game starts, that's when you're full of energy, that's when you've got the crowd behind you, that's when you should be on your game and go and put pressure on the opposition, and they just gave them too much respect.
Yeah, I just didn't feel that they made the most of what's a really tight stadium. If people have not been here, it's really, the fans are really close to the pitch at El Madrigal, and they needed to give the crowd something to feed off, didn't they? But from a City perspective, look, it's 9 games unbeaten now. Haaland scored for a 12th game in a row. Those difficult days of last season, they're fading into the distance.
Yes, they are. They've got somebody who averages a goal a game, which is absolutely phenomenal to have, isn't it? He always looks dangerous. He didn't touch the ball that often today, but he had 4 really good chances, and that shows the meaning and the make of the man. And the bench was stacked with quality as well. So if you're a Manchester City fan and you were here today, you know, you'd be really, really happy getting on the plane home, certainly with your factor 30 on my right.
I think the only question mark was here. Thank you very much, fellas. Do obviously make sure the throat is coated after a hot day and all that talking. I'm sure you will. The only question mark, Nico Gonzalez, I think, came off with a hobble, and obviously Rodri's still on the way back, but didn't go down that sort of treatment, so that perhaps is good news.
Yeah, maybe with a view to the weekend and then taking him off, because he's very important to them right now. It was comfortable, though. I think Villarreal managed 2 shots on target. It was quite a stroll for them. When we talked earlier about this is their first win in 6 away from home. So, and it looked pretty emphatic. So I'm pretty certain now it's almost back to normal with Pep.
Does look like
similar look about.
Looks like it. Don't want to speak too soon, but yeah, looks like the square peg, square holes, and it's the Guardiola show back on the road.
They are, and I think Haaland's leading that. I don't know what happened to him over the summer. Maybe be motivated, energised to go again and really come back. You know, players like Haaland would have been disappointed with Manchester City as a collective last season.
I believe he got hold of old footage from the playground at a small primary school in the old school area and learn about the one-touch finish. I think that's what he's been...
He wouldn't have got away with it, our lady.
Oh, no, he would have got right from those nasty defenders. Right, from Villarreal to Newcastle. Andy Brassel, we've spoken to a couple of times happily tonight, and actually happily, Andy, from a Newcastle point of view, they eventually saw off the threat of Benfica pretty comfortable in the end.
Yeah, pretty comfortable in the end, Matt. There were a few tough moments in that first half. And changing 2 of those 3 in midfield really made a difference and let Benfica get some sort of foothold in the game. But I think we have to have a word, actually, for Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, when he has a great night, the crowd here at St James's Park have a great night. There's such a connection between captain and crowd. They absolutely love him. And really, he was brilliant. He stepped up. He made sure that they were strong and they were too powerful for Benfica in the end. It physically just didn't have enough in the tank in that last 25 minutes, as we predicted. As Martin was saying earlier, Eddie Howe used the changes very, very well indeed. As for Benfica, you look at their next 3 matches, pointless so far. The next 2 home games, they play Leverkusen next, Napoli with an away game and a really quite bad Ajax team in between. If they don't get at least 6 points out of that, I think it's curtains for them in this Champions League. The bad news for them, I suppose, with the other results tonight is that Leverkusen and Napoli both need to go to Lisbon and get a result.
Yeah, that's a good point, the way the dynamics of this league phase can work. That other teams slipping up, that can end up being potentially bad news for you. Work to do then, Josenko. Thank you very much to Andy Brassel for now, at least. Short break for us in here, but after that break, do stay with us because we'll have the action from elsewhere. Big night for Barcelona, big night for PSG, and
trying to break it all down. Alongside Sean Bartlett, McDonald, Maringa, we have Morani Kumalo, we do have Neil Andrews as well. So we'll go straight into it then. Our feature game for the late kickoffs at 2100 hours was Arsenal up against Atleti. A tie at Julia earlier on this evening deemed the clash of the park the bus. However, there was only one bus that was parked and the other was kicked and kicked quite dramatically. 13 minutes into the second half, or rather 13 minutes in the second half,
said when they get it right, they can put teams to the sword. It's just, as we said about before the game, it's just keeping the back door closed as well.
Is there something different about Erling Haaland this season, do you think? I mean, last season and the previous seasons, he would have had a really good sort of link-up with Phil Foden, for example. Kevin De Bruyne, a real provider of goals as well. This season, it feels as though he's having to do a lot more, but his output is just as strong, if not more.
That graphic just up there looked crazy. It didn't look real. I mean, the numbers that he's... we know he's always scored goals, but obviously, the team, struggled and had some issues this season.
I think they're doing different is they're rewarding his runs. I think he's always been consistent and strong, willing runner, but they haven't always seen it. And I think Kevin De Bruyne has been always the one that's looked for that. But now I think the other players are recognising he's going to make them runs, coming at the ball into the right area.
Defensively, I feel like he's working a little bit harder this season. Perhaps we didn't see as much in this game, but so far this season, his role has changed. He's actually a much more versatile player than a lot of people give him credit for.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think his overall game gets enough credit. Obviously, he's brilliant kind of running into space. We saw that at Dortmund, and I think we see that more this season. But actually, I think his overall game is actually really good. He's the perfect centre forward. Size, shape, finishing, he can head it, he can play with both feet. And I think Johnny made a good point about, obviously, De Bruyne was kind of the creator, whereas now we've seen Phil play that central position, do it beautifully. Czech can do it, he's an amazing football player. Sabinho's great, and that's like Docker's been one of their best players this season, so they have all these players that can help create goals for him, and I think they're all kind of finding ways to play him in, because they all have different styles, and that's how great he is. He can time his runs to anyone.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's timed his run for recognising the scenario that Rico loses in. He can't get the ball in the air. It's going to be a cutback. So the run is across the front and on the floor. And then if it was someone else, they're standing up at the back stick and then he's jumping for an area header. So again, his understanding his IQ is so important and so critical in the box.
And we were saying pre-match, weren't we, that Haaland's output this season, his scoring something around 65% of all of Manchester City's goals. Heaven forbid, because we would not want it to happen. If they were to lose him for any amount of time, where would the other goals pop up? How would they change the play?
Who knows? And hopefully they don't have to figure that out. We don't want to see any player injured, obviously.
And I don't mean injured, I mean just you know what I mean? Yeah, be taken out of the team.
Also, we have to respect that Pep hasn't always had Haaland. Man City hasn't always had Haaland. One of their most successful times was Gundogan up front. So they will find a way. Pep will find a solution if that happens.
Well, hopefully you won't have to find it for a while. Bernardo Silva got his first goal of the season today as well.
Rico, considering Villarreal hadn't lost at home since March, you seemed to control it out there. Did it feel like you did?
Well, we did. I didn't know that anyway before the game. But yeah, we felt in control for most of it. There's always better things we can do. We felt like they had a few spells that we could have, stopped them from having if we were a bit better on the ball at times. But we've got to be harsh on ourselves. We want to win the competition, and we look at the good things and the bad things. But we're happy with a clean sheet and the win.
Were you happy in the midfield role tonight? Showing your versatility again?
Yeah, I'm always happy when I play there, and the manager knows that. So yeah, really happy. I think it's where I affect the game the most. And when I'm playing football and I'm happy, there's no better feeling.
An assist tonight as well. I mean, are we running out of words to describe Erling Haaland with these finishes?
Yeah, it's impossible. It's amazing. To play with him in the team, it helps more than you think. He draws so many defenders, which frees up other people. And then when them people are free, he frees himself up. So it's impossible to defend. So credit to him. He's such a hard worker, and he never stops wanting to score, and you can see that.
In the dressing room, does it feel like momentum is back? 9 unbeaten, you're getting players back. Is there a different mood in the dressing room?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've got our confidence back. I think that's the main thing. When you're playing with confidence, there's nothing that really can stop you but yourself. So everyone trusts each other as well. And you see the players we played today, everyone's got trust. We all want the ball, and there's nothing better than all of us having each other as well as ourselves on the pitch.
You just said that you want to win this competition. So the first away win in the Champions League for Man City in a year, just over a year, long overdue and part of the next step of this process.
I didn't know that either. But yeah, the manager was saying, it's so important in this competition to get that away win early on, because it relieves a bit of stress and puts us in good stead for the next games. But yeah, it's an important win. home or away, we have to get the 3 points anyway.
Yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, it's definitely not a kid who keeps up with all the stats, and that's absolutely fine, because when you see what he does on the pitch, it more than makes up for it. Owen, midfield.
How would you describe that performance out there tonight, Bayside?
Really good, you know, a tough place to come. So it's a fantastic organization and club, and we played really, really good. Second half, we made the position game too deep, so we have to make the position game in the half, and we didn't do that. But at the end, we have one chance, but in general, we play a fantastic game. We know how to have his opening, and now it's a good step for us, you know, for this tournament.
Erling Haaland doing what he does, but assisted tonight by Rico Lewis in that midfield roles, reminding everybody of his versatility and how influential he could be there.
I'm pretty sure that 90% of the people when they see Rico line up, I said, well, why is there a way? And I love that player. This type of players, I adore them defensively. He's beyond intelligent, and he moves, and it seems like they made defensive solo marking, like they make every moment, you know, especially, you know, perfectly when and how and where has to move. I'm really pleased for his game.
Also, when you speak to your players, listen, you said you wanted more goals from your wingers and your midfielder. Bernardo Silva tonight popping up with a header.
It's good, not just Erling scored, that is nice, but no hard. And we have more chances for the other one, so. And the impact for Ryan Cherky when came in, and of course Koa and TG, so, and one at the end, so yeah, really good, because it's after a little disappointed in Monaco, where we play at the same level like today, great chance that we could not win today, you know, and the tough place Spanish league is so difficult, I know from my experience, and Villarreal in the last, I don't know, 23 times have been 70, 80 teams in Europe, so that means how good they are and how good the Benitez do, and the manager, Marcelino is a top class manager, but we're really good about them. We move, pushing our game really good, and John playing in a position that was the year of the travel in the middle, that helped us a lot, and yeah, really pleased.
Just the one maybe blot on the copy paper. Nico Gonzalez had to come off. Is that?
Yeah, Marco know his feet, and yeah. Hopefully.
It's your first away win in the Champions League in a year. Is that really important for the next development of City in the Champions League this season?
In a year, because it wasn't good, but I think our numbers in the Champions League in the last year is not bad enough, and I think personally now my numbers in Champions League are not bad enough, so are good. But last season was a difficult season for us, but I said 4 months ago, the vibe and the team how it's behaving and playing made me feel fine.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him, because you never know what you're going to get from Pep. It depends on his mood, doesn't it? But he's very, very happy, of course, and rightly so with that. I do like what he said about Rico Lewis and players of that ilk. He just says, I adore them. They're great offensively, defensively. They kind of, it's almost like pointing towards the intelligence, the high IQ of these players who just know exactly where to be at the right time. Is that something that he can take credit for, that he coaches, or is this something that we see? Arsenal in succession as well. They've got Dortmund, some really, really big matches. Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, all big matches, obviously. But I think they're at a stage now and a confidence level where they'll go into them games favourites, and the opposition will recognise that. I think throughout the season last year, it was too many times where they weren't knowing, and it was kind of 50-50 up in the air.
Yeah, you think Villa away, that could be a hard game. But again, even if they're not, I don't think they're at the controlling best side that they were in the past. But that's why they got Donnarumma. You know, if they, you have to beat that guy. He's massive. He's a brilliant shot stopper. So you look at all those games, and they're all tough games. But I don't think
3-0, back-to-back wins. It's looking a little bit better now.
A little bit better. Elevating ourselves after 2 games.
It felt like a very mature performance.
Stuff from that point onwards, but delighted with the impact of everybody. The 2 wingers that started the game were really good, and the subs were good too.
There's a couple of really penalty shouts which could have put you off, but what was interesting, probably good from your point of view, is almost straight away you were back up there and scoring.
Yeah, I don't know about the penalties. I don't know whether they were or weren't. They're good shouts, possibly, but I think the players are very good at switching that off, you know, and not looking for excuses.
The ball, I don't know, but I would say that in the first half probably was something like 48% for us, 52% for them. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm right. But my feeling was the first half we were completely in control, and even the crowd, phenomenal crowd in the first half, was very quiet. Then in the second half, the second goal, their fears disappears, their doubts disappear, and
meanwhile, welcome along to viewers on TNT Sports 1 and 2 as we continue our roundup of tonight's Champions League games. We will hear from Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes shortly, but on Newcastle, eventually comfortable winners against a Benfica team that came with some threats, but in the end, Newcastle, good value.
Yeah, I think Newcastle started well. I think they went 1-0 up and it was down that right-hand side where most of their good play come from. And through Anthony Gordon, I think once he got his goal, he started to feel himself a little bit and was involved in both of the other goals. So, yeah.
Composure. Slows down a bit.
And there's a strong show of intent.
He did get played a match, just added to his mind. I don't know if you was aware of that.
I think I just like him to slow down just a tad, a bit like yourself. Slow down, it shows that class. When you slow down, that class is there. And I think he can produce great things. He's still got more under the bonnet, this boy, but I think sometimes he goes a bit too fast. Slow down.
2 of the 3 goal involvements, but he's there a match.
As promised, let's hear from the goal scorers with Emma Dodds.
Joined by not one but 2 goal scorers this evening. Guys, just listen to this. Champions League winning nights are back here. Harvey, what's it mean to the players?
Yeah, no, last season we obviously weren't in Europe, and I think that helped the players. This is what we want to be involved in these sort of games. You just soak in the atmosphere. There's nothing better than playing in these sort of games. So I think it's been a great start to the campaign, and long may it continue.
Anthony, you got the side up and running with another goal. You're now the first Newcastle player ever to score in 3 consecutive Champions League games. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means everything, but I need to get more. My ambition doesn't stop there. It's well known, I'm a very ambitious person, so I'm very proud of that, but I've got to get more.
How important was that first one, though, just given the atmosphere in the stadium and obviously the desire to get this victory tonight?
Yeah, I think because we were having so many chances, I think at some point in the game you're going to put one away just to calm the nerves and calm everyone down. So I was glad to see it go in. I know playing with Murphy's going to play that ball all the time, so that goes all about him.
And Harvey, for you, you came off the bench and got not 1 but 2. Let's talk about the first one. Had you discussed that with Nick Pope, just the move, the throw?
No.
Performance against a big team like Atletico Madrid, their defenders talking to us, saying your organisation, your communication, your delivery, just so hard to quash, but also the big impact you have on the goal difference now, rocketing you up the table. A perfect 3 matches. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I was very happy. We showing a real consistency, performance-wise and results, and have a day off tomorrow, and then let's go to Palace again.
Just the one. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, the recovery is important.
Very much so.
To get some massage.
Yeah, just sure. Them, Joy Neves and Fabian Ruiz, and Marquinhos was on the bench. You can argue that Zabani maybe is taking his place now. But yeah, for a team that is still not 100% in fitness, but also in personnel, it's a pretty good win away from against a team that was...
Marseille must be good because they're top in France.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've slipped the last 2 games, PSG.
Just have to let the other win sometimes, That's what we do.
Their front line, I mean, we talked about Haaland. Haaland being the sort of mate for Man City, but this lot, PSG, so many good players. I mean, Doué, Kvaratskhelia, there's goals, Barcola, everywhere at the top of that team. It's all about pace, isn't it?
Yeah, pace, rotation, movement.
It's very front-footed as well in midfield areas. When you're on the front foot, I think that allows for them bodies to get higher up the pitch, and obviously the interchange of the front 3.
It's the intention of the manager.
Well, it's not you're right to the front 3, except it's becoming a front 6, isn't it? Because they keep finding more teenagers in the cupboard who turn out to be world class. It's pretty frightening.
It is, and the 2 fullbacks again, Hakimi is really adding to this team, certainly in the depth squad, the options for the flick.
Playing with joy again, isn't it? You see that smile on his face. So many times at Manchester United, just didn't seem happy, but he's certainly happy now.
I mean, it's mad you say it, or interesting, should I say, because he wanted him to play as a 9 for Manchester United. He saw the problem that he could have caused the opposition the problems with his pace, and being able to stretch opposition. He didn't feel like from an outsider looking, it looked like he didn't want to do that well. He goes to Barcelona, he's quite happy to do that, and he's getting goals and looking happy.
I think he's in a better place now. I think he's understands.
Yeah, of course.
It looks that
you
way.
Can see that.
You know,
you can see that for
when
sure.
he's happy, I think when.
But the point is, he can play the 9, and he can be effective, and can he?
always played with a 5. And
Well,
now they're playing 4.
Yeah.
And I think with De Bruyne in the team, I don't think you cannot. You know, if you're going to play a 5, he's not going to be a part of it.
Yeah, he switched away from that quite soon after he arrived at Napoli, and they won the title last year with a back 4. But I take your point. He does. In crisis, he kind of goes back to maybe what he knows, and he's going to have to change something. They play Inter at the weekend.
Yeah. Defensively, they have to
whatever's
change
working at the moment is not working. Yeah. So we'll see what he does on Saturday. As for Inter, they were too good for Union Saint-Gilloise. 7 wins on the spin.
Yeah, 7 wins on the spin. Union Saint-Gilloise, again, as we saw against Newcastle on game week 2. And in the second half, foul from Lerager on Guirassy for a penalty that was good for Copenhagen. And Fabio Silva for his first goal under this new shirt. Not an easy finish as well.
Lots of options, because, I mean, you think he had a few on the bench, didn't he? He had the Amy, for instance, on the bench tonight, who's been really good recent weeks.
Absolutely. We saw Guirassy starting and Max Bayer, but Fabio Silva came on, and even there, a late goal from, I think, to score in the Champions League. So made a bit of history tonight, yeah?
Interesting. But Dortmund, again, one of those teams that maybe we overlook at our peril.
Well, yeah, you'd expect them to beat the Danish team, though. When you look at the quality of the leagues that they're in.
Yeah.
So, you know, just for them being in the Champions League is quite a thing. I think.
But as we heard from Owen Hargreaves earlier, they're back in the feeling of